Hi, today I'd like to talk to you about attenuators. Not so much in general, because I don't want to start and debunk the whole subject of attenuators, but actually specifically about the attenuator that I got up there. It's an Aracom, and we'll describe it a bit better. But the first thing that I want to do before we go into talking about the attenuator is why use one. Now if you look here on my left side, you can see three Marshall heads of the late 70s. One on top being a 2204, in the middle a 1959, and down in the bottom a 2203. Both of them are from the late 70s. You have a 77, 76, and 79 here on the bottom. And a 2204 50 watts, 1959 is 100 watts, and the 2203 is 100 watts. The difference, there's several differences actually among them, but the thing in common that the first one on the top and the one on the bottom have is the fact that both of these are master volume amplifiers, while this one is a non-master volume amplifier. In fact, the name of the circuit is generally known as a 1959 Super Lead, which has its 50 watts version known as the 1987. Both of these are non-master volume, therefore if you want to play with them they're supposed to be cranked up high, and both of them can deliver quite a lot of power and loudness, which is basically impossible to put out on environments such as this one, which is pretty small. And nowadays, even on the stages, even with some great rock bands, sound engineers try to keep the output of these tone machines a bit lower. So there's several options that you can use. With the master volumes, there's less of an issue if you want, because you have, I doubt you can see the actual dials in here from there, but you know, the left part is basically the equalization and the tone settings, presence, bass, middle, and treble, which is the same for the three heads, same thing. What differs from the master volume model and non-master volume model is the last two knobs here on the right and probably even the number of inputs, which is a giveaway of certain model types of back then. Because you have a master volume, it's called knob, and a preamp volume type of thing. And on the master volume heads, such as the 2204 and 2203, you can keep the master level pretty low. This actually acts really as a loudness knob, but it does also a bit more. We'll discuss it in a second. While the preamp would control the amount of overdrive that you can get out of these heads here. With the 2204, for example, you can put the master pretty low here at 1, 2, and it can be pretty silent. That is almost at bedroom levels, and so you can play with the neighborhood still loving you and still deliver with a preamp set from around 8 or 10, also depending on the output of your pickups. You could be pretty much overdriven. With the 1959 and 1987 type circuits, where you don't have a master volume, in order to get the amplifier overdriving, you need to drive the volume. It's called volume. Actually, there's volume 1 and volume 2 because there's two channels on these types of amplifiers. And right now we're plugged into the top left hole, which implies it's a right channel. and it's driven by volume 1. So volume 1, say around 1 or 2, will deliver sort of clean tone, reminiscent of the early 60s probably. You know, it can be still extremely loud. Actually, it will be loud. We're processing everything from the Aracom Attenuator, so therefore you can hear the level of my voice and the guitar volume actually almost at the same level. I can talk over it, you know, it's not impossible. And it can be very, very clean. Now, as you go up, we're at 1 now, and the more we go up, say about 2 or 3, it really starts breaking up, even depending on the volume knob on your guitar. Right now we are on 10, and it starts really breaking up. It would be getting louder and more overdriven. So we're 2, but let's progress up to say 5, for example. You can progressively start hearing it coming stiffer, louder, more power, and so it does progressively as you keep on rotating clockwise the volume knob until you get to 8, for example. Where definitely it becomes typical classic rock type of tone. Let's try it. Okay, so all of this would not be possible if I wasn't processing, and processing is not actually the right term for this, but if I wasn't passing through from this passive attenuator up here. So from here, there's a number of dials and gauges and knobs as well, and I can lower or raise the loudness of the amplifier, like if it was an additional master volume probably. So as I go back on the left, I'm really getting really low. I think it's around 1 watt, probably even less. And now I turn it back up, all to the right. So a number of things are possible with this thing, but you're not going to go deaf, and your neighborhood is not going to kill you. Now let's try a few guitars with the 1959 model, and we will try also one of the 2 master volumes, also to show that despite on master volumes you have a in fact a master volume knob that will help you keep the loudness down. If you turn the master itself upwards, the tone of the amplifier will come out better. In fact, I think it's a general rule that you can use that. With Marshalls, you need to crank them up as much as high as you can, actually, not until 10 probably, but quite close. So we'll try this as well, but let's try a few more licks and guitars with this setup. That is 1959 Aracom, sitting in between 100 watts head and a 4x12 GM12 speakers, and this 1967 SG. Just try up some tones. Let's lower a bit the volume and get back to clean mode on the guitar, while on the head we're still at 8. Let's also try some